Yeah, hello students. Welcome back to the session. Today we are going to discuss the last part D of the chapter number 14, sources of energy. In part D, we are going to discuss nuclear energy, fission, fusion, and environmental consequences. The WhatsApp number to both the countries have been given, and this is your channel link. So in this topic, what we are going to discuss is about nuclear energy. So nuclear energy is the energy released during nuclear reactions involving the nucleus of an atom. We know that atom comprises of three atomic particles, neutron, electron and proton, and in the center part of the atom is called the nucleus. So inside the nucleus, so what is happening here, nuclear energy is released when during nuclear reactions which involves the nucleus of an atom. So the energy released during nuclear reactions which are involved in the nucleus of an atom. This can be used. Why? To generate electricity, where in nuclear power plants. So the two important nuclear processes are nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. These are the two important processes, nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. So first one, nuclear fission. Nuclear fission is a process in which a heavy atomic nucleus split into two or more smaller nuclei. So here what is happening? It is a process. Which process we are discussing here? Nuclear fission. It is a process in which a heavy atomic nucleus will split into two or more smaller nuclei. Then when it will split into two or more smaller nuclei, it will release a large amount of energy. Example, uranium-235, nuclear absorbs a neutron and becomes unstable. It splits into smaller nuclei and releases. What it is going to release? It releases large amount of energy and more neutrons. These neutrons can cause further fission reactions. These neutrons can cause further fission reactions. It will continue. Now here the chain reaction. One fission reaction releases neutrons. Step 1. In step 2, these neutrons will cause more fusion. In step 3, more neutrons are released and a chain reaction occurs. I repeat, in one fission reaction, it releases neutrons, point number 1. Then these neutrons will cause more fission. More neutrons are released and the chain reaction occurs. Nuclear reactor. A nuclear reactor is a device. What it will do? It will control a nuclear fission. Chain reaction takes place. It is going to control nuclear fission's chain reaction which takes place. Where? The nuclear reactor. The main components of nuclear reactor are nuclear fuel, that is uranium-235 or other suitable fuel you can take. Moderator, it will slow down the fast neutrons. Control rods, control the rate of the chain reactions. Coolant, it carries heavy heat away from the reactor. Coolant will carry heat away from the reactor. Next one is your steam generator. Next is turbine and generator. So here how does this nuclear reactor will work? Nuclear fission, then heat is released, then coolant carries heat to water or steam system. Then steam will rotate the turbines. Turbine drives the generator. Electrical energy is produced. The working here, the nuclear fission takes place. At that time, heat is released. Coolant carries heat to water or the steam system. Then steam will rotate the turbine. Then turbine drives the generator, and by the help of it, electrical energy is produced. Next, nuclear fusion. It is a process in which two or more light atomic nuclei will combine. Why? To form heavy nucleus. Fission, heavy nucleus. Fusion, you will have two or more light atomic nuclei which will combine to form heavier nucleus. It will release a large amount of energy. Fusion occurs naturally in the sun and other stars. For example, hydrogen nuclei combine through a series of reactions to ultimately form helium, releasing energy. What happens here? Hydrogen nuclei will combine through a series of reactions. Why? To form helium, at the time it will release lot of energy. The difference between nuclear fission and fusion: heavy nuclear splits, light nuclear combine, produces smaller nuclear, produces heavy nuclears, can produce a chain reaction, requires extremely high temperature and pressure. Used in a present nuclear plant, occurs naturally in suns and stars. Nuclear fission produces radioactive waste. Fusion generally produces less long-lived radioactive waste. Through fusion systems can still become radioactive. Fusion will produce a radioactive waste. Fission will produce less long-lived radioactive waste. Through fusion systems can still become radioactive. Example will be uranium-235, hydrogen nuclei forming helium. The environmental consequences of energy sources. Different energy sources can affect. What they can affect? The environment. How? In different ways. Point number one, fossil fuels. When you are burning coal, petroleum and natural gas, they will produce what? Carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, smoke and particulate matter. So these are the things produced when you are burning the fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum and natural gas. Then what happens? These contribute air pollution, global warming, acid rain and climate change, students. Now thermal power plants. Thermal power plants generally burn fossil fuels. Major environment problems include again air pollution and release of greenhouse gases. Along with that, production of ash, large consumption of water. Next comes hydroelectric power. What is this? It is a renewable, but large dams can. What large dams can do? They will submerge the forest and agricultural land. To construct large dams, we need to displace the people. It will affect the aquatic ecosystem and it will alter natural river flow. These are the limitations over here. Next comes nuclear power. Nuclear power will produce what? It will produce very little greenhouse when during electricity generation, but it has important concerns. Nuclear power will produce very little greenhouse gas when during electric generation. But what are the important concerns? You will have radioactive waste, risks of radiation exposure, possibility of serious accidents, difficulties in safe disposal and long-term management of radioactive materials. Why renewable energy sources are important? Because what are the renewable sources you have? Solar, wind, biomass, hydroelectric, tidal, geothermal. As they are important because they will reduce dependence on finite fossil fuels. The quantity is getting limited over here. That's why we have specialized, I have said finite fossil fuels. We are completely depending on it. So by the help of these renewable sources, we can save the fossil fuels. However, every energy source has advantages and limitations, students. So energy choices should consider availability, cost efficiency, environmental impact and reliability. So we need to think and use. So important questions here. What is nuclear fission? Nuclear fission is a process in which a heavy atomic nucleus will split into smaller nuclei. When it is splitting into smaller nuclei, it will produce large amount of energy and neutrons. Nuclear fusion, it is a process in which two or more light nuclei will combine. Why? To form heavier nucleus. Again, it will release large amount of energy. What is a nuclear reactor? It is a device in which a controlled nuclear fission chain reaction will takes place. Where does nuclear fission occur naturally? Nuclear fission will occur naturally in the sun and other stars. What is a chain reaction? A chain reaction is a self-sustaining sequence of nuclear fission reactions in which neutrons released from one fusion can cause further fusion reactions. So it will continue. Two environmental problems by burning fossil fuels, air pollution, and it will increase greenhouse gas emission and global warming. What are the disadvantages of nuclear energy? Disposal of radioactive waste is difficult. Nuclear accidents can have serious consequences. Hope you understood, students. A quick revision regarding the nuclear energy. You have nuclear fission, nuclear reactor, controlled chain reaction, nuclear fusion, fission versus fusion, environmental consequences, importance of renewable energy. Thank you very much, students. Any doubts, any queries, you can use the comment section or the WhatsApp number. Bye bye.